What's going on, guys? Jared Sports Cards coming at you with another video today. Yes, as you saw by the title, we have another Tuesday video. You guys know it's my favorite video of the week to film. We have two new releases. We got one football, one baseball that we're going to be talking about in terms of retail. We're going to go through all the new values. Again, I'll be referencing secondary values, but not because I'm pro flipping. They're your cards. You can do what you want. You guys know I'm Team Rip. But I will be referencing them because if secondary market value is up, that means single value is up. And if secondary market value is down, that means single value is down. So that's why I reference secondary market value, and I go by eBay comps. All right, guys. So I want to address one thing before we get into this video. I will not be able to respond to comments for probably the next few days. YouTube has flagged my channel for like spam comment. And that's pretty much because YouTube's not used to, like, the algorithm or like the AI is not used to creators responding to every single comment, and I do that. So it looks like I have like 100 or 150 comments, on my own video from myself. So my channel got flagged and they said it might be terminated on July 12th. Therefore, they said to like stop, immediately. So I'm getting in contact with someone from YouTube. Don't worry, I don't think my channel will be terminated. But I just want to say I'm not able to respond to comments. I will read every single comment. Don't you worry. I will heart and like every single comment because I love reading your comments. If you have a specific question, always feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at jrsportscards_ or tweet me at cards_jr on Twitter. I will answer. It might take me a few hours, but I will get back to you. So I'm sorry that I won't be able to respond to comments. But again, if you have a specific question, make sure to hit me up on Twitter, Instagram. All right, let's not bore you with the details of being a YouTube creator. Let's get into what you actually clicked on the video for, and that's content. All right, let's start off with football as we usually do. We're going to start with select, then we'll go chronicles, then we'll go score, then we'll go contenders, and then we have two new releases actually for football, which is awesome. All right, so for football, we're going select. Obviously, select blasters are up this week because there really hasn't been any drops of select blasters. Barnes & Noble Booksellers has been dropping mega boxes, but no blaster boxes have been seen. So select blasters are actually up $5, $55 to $60 range when they were at $50 to $55 last week. Fat packs are down, which is interesting. I think this is just a trend in terms of, the last few eBay comps. Maybe they've just been selling for cheaper. They were about $30 to $35 last week. Now they're back down about $20 to $25. The past 3 weeks before last week, that's a little confusing. They were about $25 to $30, so they're kind of just back down to like where they're at before. Some selling at like 22 or 23, which is why I put 20 to 25. And then you have mega boxes. They're up actually 95 to 100. Pretty much the last 2 weeks, they were like 85 to 100. And a lot of these 85 people were just people that were trying to take quick profits from selling their select mega boxes. So they're back to about 95 to 100. That's kind of what they settled at. Some are at 90 still. So you could argue we're at a 90 to 100 range, but really it's 95 to 100. So that's going to do it for select. Let's hop on to chronicles. You guys know this is another really highly produced product. Last week, they actually dropped to $25 to $30 from $30 to $40. This week, they're back up to $30 to $35. So pretty much the range was about maybe 25 to 40, and they settled in the 30 to 35 range. Really 32 to 35. I want to be more specific. I haven't really seen too many at 30. But yeah, that's what Chronicles Football Blasters are doing. So they're actually up. And again, I think it's because they just haven't, been no drop of Chronicles Blasters. Because remember, Target Online hasn't dropped. They don't drop too many at Walmart's. And when Target Online doesn't drop, it's not going to be, insanely crazy in terms of values. Switching, we have Chronicle Mega Boxes. Those are about $60. They're 60 to 65 last week. We saw this coming a few weeks ago when the range was about 50 to 80. They settled at 60 to 65, and now they pretty much just settled around 60, which makes sense. Some are still getting up to 65, but it's really 60. And then fat packs are the same as the last 3 weeks, about $9 to $10. No change for fat packs there. All right, week 8 for Score Football. Blasters last week were about $30. Now they're about $25 to $35. I mean, literally, the range pretty much puts 30 in the middle, but you can't just say 30 because there are some selling for 25. There's some selling for 35. But there's a lot selling at 30 as well. So it's a big range, but really focus on that central market. It's about 30 that they're selling for in terms of Score Football. All right, we have Contenders Draft Picks Football Blaster Boxes. This is the one auto per box. Last week they had a value about $25 to $40. It's kind of crazy, and now they're really back down to $25. The $40 sales, like the $35 to $45 sales last week, were flukes. I'm not really sure why they were selling so high last week. They were 20 to 30 the week before, so they've settled in the middle at 25. We kind of expected this, and I'm genuinely not surprised. All right, we have two new releases. We have, for football, we have Prism Draft Picks Blaster Boxes. Now, these have been released for like maybe a little bit, but they really weren't prevalent at all. Now they are. They're going for about $40 to $45. This is a little shocking, per se, for blasters of Prism, but to be honest, it's not too crazy. I think we expected them maybe this week to be around 55 to 60, not 40 to 45. Therefore, we can see the demand's going down a little. But when you kind of look at things, it's college jerseys and it's not football season. So football season and the football market's down, and overall the sports card market's down a bit. So Prism Draft Picks Blasters for football, $40 to $45. I expect those to go down just a bit next week. Then we have a new release that's going to be releasing July 2nd, so that is Friday. Chronicles Draft Picks Blaster Boxes. So this is going to be Trevor Lawrence's class. You know, Justin Fields, you know who it is. So these are actually going to be in blaster box form. I'm assuming we're going to see fat packs of something. Chronicles related here for draft picks, but it's going to be pretty much the same setup as we saw with the new draft picks and the pro jerseys. And there's just going to be draft picks with the new class 2021. All right, so that's it for football. Nothing too crazy other than those two new releases, but really not high fidelity releases. Again, anything that's released in college jersey isn't that crazy, so I wouldn't get too pumped up about it. Let's move into basketball. We have two basketball products out right now. Basketball is really lacking. Again, we're in playoffs, so there's no reason to kind of make products right now. If you're Panini, there's going to be a little hiatus, would be my guess. You still have Prism, which is in high demand, and then you have this Contenders basketball. But let's get into Prism first. So Prism Blasters were about 75 to 80 last week. We saw some going for about $60. They're back down to 70 to 75. We've seen this once before. Nothing too shocking here. Hanger boxes are down for the first time under $100 that we've seen ever in the 10 weeks that we've been covering hanger boxes. They hit about 100 last week. Now they're 80 to 90. Some are still selling at 100, but very, very minimal. So it is very shocking to see 80 to 90 on the hanger boxes, which just means Prism Basketball is losing value. It's been much easier to find Prism Basketball at Walmart's. And so, especially with Target potentially coming back in store, but we're not sure when we could see Prism on those shelves, although there's no guarantee there. Cello packs are also down for the first time. Again, I think that's just because the demand for basketball is going down right now. Most of the teams are out. You only have 4 teams left in the playoffs right now, and so the demand for basketball is just going down. We can see that with the pricing. Cellos are down for literally the first time ever. They've been 40 to 45 for about 8 weeks. Now they're about 35 to 40. Doesn't seem too drastic, but for something, that's a pretty big percentage change. So, cello packs are down. Mega boxes are not down, though. We're kind of back to this big range here. A few weeks back, they were about 150 to 170. Then we had about, 150. Then last week, they were 130 to 140. Now they're 130 to 160. People don't know where to buy these at. Some people are waiting till 130. Some people are being impatient and buying them at 160, 150. It really it comes down to patience, and I think that's why the range is so big. With Prism Mega Boxes being so scarce in the market, not having released at Target, really only at Walmart, there just haven't been too much supply in the market. So people that are patient are getting them at 130. People that are impatient just want to buy a box are getting them at 160, which is making this range really big. Let's hop over to Contenders, the last basketball product. We expected this last week. They're about $30 right now. Week 4, they were about $30. Then last week, they were 25 to 35, and they're back to $30, selling consistently at $30. We had potentiality of them being $25 to $30 going this week, but they're really selling mostly at $30, some at like 28, 29, but that's about it. So basketball is going strong. You guys know I always like to hit UFC before I hit baseball, and then I hit soccer. So let's hop into UFC really quickly. For the first time in 5 weeks, we're seeing UFC Prism Blaster boxes go down in value. They were 60 to 65 last week. Now they're 55 to 60. Insane. I don't really have an explanation for this. I haven't seen too many Targets drop UFC Prism in stores. I don't know if the demand for UFC Prism's taking, into place here, because there just hasn't been much more supply in the market. This could just be, a little fluke per se, but, down $5 and, I don't really know what to expect here. I don't know really what to think. Just know they're down 55 to 60. They could easily come back up to 60 to 65 next week. We are still seeing some at 65. So really I could say 55 to 65 and just blame the 55 on people trying to take quicker profits. That could also be an explanation, but just look for UFC. It's kind of being weird right now. All right, top order baseball. There's 3 products, 1 new release. So let's get into it. Obviously, we're going to start with Bowman. That's the hot commodity if you're a baseball collector. You're looking at Bowman blasters that have not moved in 5 weeks, or actually 6 weeks now. They're still valued at $30 to $35, most selling at $32 to $33. Then you have mega boxes, which have just consistently come down since week 4. They've gone down every week since week 4. Yes, the last 6 weeks they've come down. They're 35 to 40. They're about $40 last week, so it's been interesting to see just the decline. And I'm not going to report on fat packs or value packs. I feel like it's not relevant. But I guess I'll report on. They're pretty much just like $15, $10 to 15. That's the range. All right, Top Series 2, and then we'll get into the new release. Top Series 2 blaster boxes. This is interesting. So last week they were selling for about $30. Now they're $20 to $35. Even some seen $40. So it's like $20 to $40. It's a big range. Again, I still think it's interesting that we're seeing, I think, comes down to a patience level. People that are patient for Series 2 blaster boxes, because again, without Target dropping, it's, the supply is different when it comes out from Walmart. Without a bunch of Series 2 blasters dropping, there's a wide range. People that are patient are getting them for about $20 to $25, which is exactly what they probably should be going for. People that are not patient, just want to buy, then they go for about, higher than that. Hanger boxes, $10 to $20, pretty normal stuff there. Absolute blasters are the new release. So the new release for baseball is Absolute Baseball blaster boxes. They've been out for about a week and a half, maybe 2. Something around there. So those are going for about $30 to $35 resale. Again, they retail for $20. So again, no logos on those cards, so that's why it's kind of low. It can, in terms of I know Absolute Football was about 45 to 55, even more than that. But again, that's football, so it's tough to compare those two. But again, baseball and the fact there's no logos, they're at 30 to 35. I'd expect these to go down just because it's a new product, so it's going to lose that new product hype. I could be wrong there, but that's what I would expect. All right, let's quickly hit soccer, and then I'll give you my top 5 picks for what you should prioritize this week when you're retail hunting in the jungle, guys. All right, so Mosaic Soccer blaster boxes are down again. They're about 30 to 35 in value, down from 35 to 40, so they took like a $5 hit. Again, not shocking. Soccer, again, it's just not the biggest sport with demand. And again, it's week 6 now, so there's a lot more supply out. People are kind of getting used to the product. People aren't as curious about it anymore. And then you have Topps Chrome soccer blasters. These are actually up from last week. They're about 45 to 50 last week. They're $55 to $60. Some are at 50, so you could argue 50 to 60 for the range. These have been amazing because people love the Topps Chrome soccer product. People are feeling great about this product. There's been some absolute awesome pulls. People prefer it over Mosaic, which is another reason I think Mosaic hit in value, because people would rather spend their money on Topps Chrome soccer. So it's been interesting. Before I end it off here, let me give you my top 5 picks of the week to prioritize in the jungle, in my opinion. So I say Prism Basketball Mega Boxes are going to be your hottest commodity in the retail, followed by Hanger Boxes, followed by Prism Blaster Boxes. So Mega Boxes, Hanger Boxes, Blaster Boxes. Then you're going to follow it up with a Select Mega Box. I still have those on the list, even as overproduced as they are. You're still going to want to get those. Those are a hot commodity as well. And to end it off, the same exact as last week, Topps Chrome Soccer Blasters. Again, soccer, not the highest demand in terms of sports, but people are really liking the product. You have some big soccer events coming up. And so it's just going to get hotter in my opinion. So Topps Chrome Soccer Blasters have been super, super popular, guys. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to leave you there. Have a great day. Again, I won't be able to respond to comments, but if you have questions, tweet me at cards_JR on Twitter or JRSportsCards_. If you want to know how to spell those, it's down in the description, guys. I'm going to leave you there. Peace.